Hi, I'm Miss Lala and thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. Today is part 4 in my series on my hair regimen, and it focuses on air drying. When I got serious about hair growth, I really had to let go of a lot of my heat use. I wasn't using it really frequently, but I was blow drying my hair about once a month. I cut down to that at one point. I used to flat iron my hair sometimes before twisting it, but I was realizing that while it was actually helping me with single strand knots, which was one of my reasons for doing it, and it seemed to make my hair easier to manage, it was actually causing me split ends. So letting go of that more frequent heat use really made a difference in my ability to retain length. Now, when I first started trying to do air drying only, I felt like I could never air dry my hair properly. Like it would turn out hard, rough feeling. I couldn't really style it. So through trial and error, I figured out what to do. So today I'm going to share with you and actually demonstrate some of the different things that I use in order to air dry my hair and get nice smooth hair that I can work with and style. Now, the way my hair is right now, this is actually my hair that I have wet. It was like it was actually in a bun. I took it out so it wasn't completely shrunken up, and I wet it, let it air dry so you could get an idea of what my hair looks like when I just let it air dry loose. If I had shampooed it, it probably would have been even more shrunken than this. This is why I do not just let my hair air dry loose. I have major shrinkage, and I don't have an issue with the way it looks. I actually like the length. It could be fun to wear it like this sometimes, but combing through this is going to be a nightmare. So this just gives you an idea of what my shrunken hair looks like. I would say I have probably about 50% or more shrinkage. It's very hard to comb when it's like this. I'm actually going to have to re-wet it, put conditioner on it, and detangle it. So I'm actually going to go and get started on my hair, and I'll be back to show you what I do to properly air dry my hair. Okay, so I washed, conditioned my hair, did all of those steps already, and now I'm at the point where I'm going to prepare my hair for air drying. Now, I find that I like to squeeze out the excess water using a towel, and I gently do that. You can probably tell my braids are a little roughed up. I started that already. And I just go down the braid like this, you know, so that my hair isn't just dripping. And a good microfiber towel can really speed up your drying time. They do work, and I notice a difference between a microfiber towel and a regular towel. It really does help. I notice I can actually get my hair to the point where it's damp just using a microfiber towel and towel drying. Now, what you want to be careful not to do is just to completely rough your cuticles all up with that towel so that your hair is just feeling horrible. I like to do it in a downward motion. I don't do like that with the towel. I just go down my hair and gently towel dry like that. And you can do that as much as you want. I do it to the point where my hair is just, you know, no longer dripping, and I can tell it's on its way to being dry, and I can handle it a little better. I do not like to comb my hair while it is just soaking wet. I find that it snaps easier. So that's one reason why I like to towel dry. Even if I'm going to blow dry my hair, I towel dry first. But most of the times I air dry, so that's what I'm going to focus on today. After I've towel dried, I will then apply a leave-in. I think a leave-in is critical to getting a good result from your air drying. You may be able to forego it and just move to a heat protectant if you're going to blow dry, but with air drying, I find that a good leave-in really makes a difference. Leave-ins can help to smooth your cuticles, which is so important if you're going to be air drying, because you still want your hair to have a nice sheen to it, to not be real tangly, and you don't want your cuticles all roughed up. My favorite leave-ins are Kinky Curly, Not Today, and Giovanni Direct Leave-In. These are two of my favorites. I find that the Kinky Curly Not Today works pretty well to assist even a little more with detangling if your hair is now a little tangled up now that you've washed it, and it leaves my hair really smooth. I really like it, particularly for braid outs. It works great. This Giovanni Direct Leave-In, I find that it strengthens my hair. And I'm not sure how to explain it. I don't know if it's the proteins, but my strands just feel a little almost thicker to the touch after I've used this, but it can leave your hair feeling a little stiff. So if you choose to try this, you may want to add a little oil to it. Today I'm going to go with my Kinky Curly Not Today leave-in. And I have a lot of hair and my hair is pretty dense. I tend to go through a lot of leave-in. So I'm using a pretty generous amount. I would say that's probably almost a quarter size amount on a section of hair. And I rake it through using my fingers. And I think I'm even going to apply a little more. I like to concentrate a little extra to my ends because they're fragile and they tend to be more porous, meaning they absorb things easier but also release it. And so I like to apply a little extra product to my ends. And I tend to put a little less at the roots because that's where my scalp is secreting sebum. You can read about sebum and what that is on my site, but that's the oil that comes from your scalp. So my scalp, the hair closest to my scalp tends to be the least dry. So I find that it needs the least amount of product. So after I've applied my leave-in, you saw I waited a little bit. Next, I like to layer that with an oil. I find that in order to get a good air dry, it is so important for your cuticles to be smooth. Because otherwise, your hair will feel hard and stiff and even kind of dry sometimes when you air dry. It just doesn't feel good if you don't find the right combination of products. So a quality leave-in coupled with an oil works well for me. I think what that oil does is help hold in that moisture that I've applied using that leave-in. So what I'm going to use today is safflower oil that I've poured into this bottle. Safflower oil is full of what's called ceramides. And ceramides are basically, how can I explain it? It's a lipid molecule. It's fatty and it helps to smooth your cuticles. There are several oils out there that are full of ceramides. Safflower oil is one of the cheaper ones that works. It leaves my hair feeling so soft. I notice a big difference in my air dries when I use safflower oil. And so I'm going to use about a dime, actually maybe a little more. Nice size amount of the oil and apply it after I've applied my leave-in. And I work through my hair a section at a time just like this, leaving the rest braided. Another oil that I find works pretty good is wheat germ oil. It also has ceramides. Now I've tried doing my air dries with like olive oil, castor oil, and they work okay, but I get the best results with that safflower oil, and I really think it's the ceramides that help. Now sometimes I'll mix the safflower oil with another oil and still get good results, but I really like the safflower oil. So I apply my leave-in and then my oil. I think that's so critical. So you might need to experiment with some different leave-ins, with some different oils to find what works for you. You really want to be gentle with your hair if you're planning on retaining length. There's no reason to just take the comb and snatch it really hard through your hair. If you notice, I hold my ends as I comb. I don't want them to snap. I'm not just pulling and tugging on them. I don't know that it may seem time consuming or like I'm going slow. I don't know, but for me it's worth it. And you notice as I really get toward the ends, I'll move my hand down and hold them. Okay, and that's so I'm not just pulling and stretching and tugging and snagging on my hair. Now, I mean, if you have really tough, sturdy hair, maybe you don't need to do that, but I like to guide my hand all the way down as I'm combing. Okay, and if I hit a knot, I'll just stop. But my hair is still pretty well detangled from my pre-poo. I just did a finger comb. this time with my pre-poo, so my hair wasn't super detangled. Okay. And then at this point, you can use one of many methods to air dry. Those first steps are so important, but there are lots of different things that you can do. What I do 80% of the time is air dry my hair in about 10 small braids, and I make sure that they're tight braids. If I don't do that, sometimes I'll do bantu knots. Okay, so this is my braids. I ended up putting in 12, and if you can see, I put the roots in pretty tight and braided it pretty tight all the way down. Lately, I've been air drying my hair in braids or twists that are about this same size, and I like doing that because when I take it out, my hair has a kind of crinkly look, and I can either just wear it like that or style it. I like that particularly with the braids. It kind of makes my hair more compact, and it holds pretty well when I braid it while it's damp, and I can style it in different ways during the work week. Now, if you're wanting a more full look, you might want to give the roller sets and bantu knots a try because it will give your hair a more full effect. Same thing with twists. If you use bigger twists, it will kind of give your hair more stretched out. Up here toward the front, where my hair is shorter around my edges, I put some little twists in just to show you that if your hair is not long, you still can air dry and not have your hair air dry completely loose. Okay, so here's my hair after removing the braids. I could simply just put a headband on and go, or actually style it. What I'm going to do today is actually Sunday, and I washed it yesterday, which was Saturday. I'm going to put some little twists right here and wear it loose, and then I'm going to style my hair for the work week tonight. So I'm going to go just pin this to the side, do something really quick that won't take me very long to wear it loose today. So I removed the braids. I didn't separate the sections at all. That took me about 15 minutes to take the braids out. I had 12 braids. It takes me about a minute a braid, plus you might take a little break in between. Then I just put this one little single twist on the side, and that literally took me a minute. It's just one twist and I pinned it. Now, if your hair is shorter and you want to try doing the same thing, I probably would put 2 or 3 of these on the side instead, and then just leave the rest of it loose. And so I just simply pulled the rest of my hair kind of over this way. I didn't pick apart the braid sections. If your hair is thin, you might want to give that a try to give it a fuller look. The reason I don't is because I plan on doing a different style tonight, and I find that my hair will hold better if I don't go and pick and pull apart the braid parts, because it might frizz. You can do it carefully and use a little bit of oil. Sometimes that will help prevent it from frizzing, but I'm going to actually put my hair in an updo tonight, so there's really no need for me to go pulling and messing with my hair. So this is how it's going to be for today, and you can give this a try. And then I'm going to cover my whole 2-week cycle of how I do my hair in the next couple of videos. Now, I just want to put a word, and I don't always wear these same hairstyles, of course, but I'm just giving you examples of things I do, and maybe it will help give you some ideas of what you can do in your hair routine. Thanks.